Queensryche right here on your classic metal show from their most popular disc, Empire. It's the title track. You have not seen the current lineup of Queensryche perform live yet, have you, Chris?
I have not.
Well, when I did see them back in, I think it was September, end of September, wow, I was just blown away.
I need to. I just, dude, when they were here in Cleveland, I was in Pittsburgh. When they were in Pittsburgh, I was in Cleveland. It didn't make any sense. But
sure.
Just sucked. I just missed it because of my fucked up schedule. But I will catch it. I'm told that they're going to be on tour next year. Or this year. I guess it's this year. 2016. So I'll catch it somewhere, I'm sure.
Sure.
I'm a huge fan, so I want to see it. Will you go and see Operation Mindcrime?
No.
For no reason. Free.
Depends on where it is. If I got to travel downtown to go see it, no.
All right.
If it was here, within, 20-minute drive, I might. I wouldn't drive downtown and pay $25 or $30 to park.
Yeah, see, I don't know that I would do that. But problem is, anywhere for Cleveland, you got to do that. That really does suck, doesn't it? You probably pay $50 for a fucking ticket, 20 more to park.
Yeah.
To see a bad version of Queensryche.
Right. Well, again, I would go to Cleveland to go see a show long before I would even consider going to downtown Chicago to go see a show.
Yeah, Cleveland's a little easier than Chicago. Chicago's retarded.
It is. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's third worst in the country behind LA and New York.
Traffic is horrendous. The parking is expensive, especially with all these protesters. Well, as of late anyway.
Yeah.
All these protesters and whatnot.
What are they protesting there?
Well, Rahm Emanuel is having, some issues because kind of like the whole Benghazi thing.
Yeah.
Prior to the election of the second time that Obama got elected, that they stifled the whole Benghazi thing, and it didn't come out until after the election because they were afraid of,
repercussions.
The repercussions and how it might have influenced the election.
Right. Well,
from that same playbook, Rahm Emanuel, the mayor of Chicago, there was a shooting of a quote unquote unarmed black man or kid.
Okay.
By the police, and there was video of it, and it was basically they sat on it for 14 months, and not until after Rahm was reelected did it come out.
That the cop shot a kid?
Yes. Well, the kid was wielding a knife. It was a knife.
Okay.
And he wasn't anywhere near the police. He wasn't like ready to stab somebody. He was,
right.
Probably 15, 20 feet away.
Right.
And, of course, they were ordering him to drop the knife, and he didn't do it. And so they just basically blew him away.
White kid, black kid?
Black kid.
White cop?
I think so.
So why wouldn't Rahm want that out there? Doesn't that play into his agenda?
No, the thing is because it's the cops shooting, quote unquote, harmless or unarmed black people.
Yeah, but wouldn't Rahm just say, this is why we have these gun laws, and I'm proud to be a part of the reason that
Well, if the kid had a gun, it might be a different thing, but the kid only had a knife.
Okay.
And he wasn't, like, ready to run up and stick it in somebody. He was just kind of,
So it was just a bad shoot.
Yes.
Okay.
But they stifled the video for 14 months, and they paid the family off.
Right. To be quiet.
Right. And then Rahm got reelected, and all this happened months before the reelection campaign.
Jesus
so again, Christ. it's the whole Democratic Obama playbook where that information is stifled until after the election.
Yeah, because it's transparent.
Yeah, of course. Well, anyway, because of this recently, there had to be a fall guy. Right. So the police chief of Chicago resigned.
Oh, wow.
But, the citizenry is after Rahm's head now.
Oh, well, they're not getting that.
Well, of course not. But he's under a lot of fire these days. No pun intended.
Yeah, he'll get through it.
Of course he will.
He's got 3, 4, 5 more elections to win. Because they don't have term limits on mayors, do they?
I don't think so, because Mayor Daley was in office forever and a day.
Yeah, and Rahm will be there for a long time.
Sure.
Ugh. Fucking sad. This whole country's fucking sad.
It is, but he's just been under a lot of pressure lately. How they'll spin this and try to make it go away.
Yeah.
I don't know, but right now it's kind of downtown Chicago is not where you want to be. Let's just put it that way.
You mean you wouldn't go out there like John and Stephanie and argue with the protesters?
No, not when 6 to 10 people a weekend are being killed.
Yeah, that's true too.
Unfettered, because this is a no gun zone. This is a no gun zone place, and
well, Obama cried though, so that makes it better, doesn't it? He's sad.
It shows he has compassion for the people.
Yeah, and he even said, "Even my town of Chicago." I heard that.
Sure.
What a fucking phony cunt that fucker is.
Yeah, he's had 7 years to call in the cavalry if he wanted to help the city of Chicago, and he's done nothing.
No, but he doesn't care.
Nothing.
Doesn't care. He only cares now because it's fucking his agenda's hot.
Yeah, I know. But as the president who can have a beer summit and sit down with people, and if what was that kid that got killed down there on the Stand Your Ground law? What was his name? Trayvon Martin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. If I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon Martin.
Yeah, would he? Gangster. He'd be toting guns on Facebook. Is that what he'd be doing?
Sure.
Sure he would.
Right. But, 7 years to, if he really wanted to try to stave off all the problems here in Chicago.
Yeah.
Never once.
Well, thank God. Because can you imagine if he had 7 years of ramp up on this bullshit? We might actually have to give up the guns.
Well, in my opinion, and I'm glad for the shootings. I'm glad these guys are killing each other off.
Just stay out of my neighborhood.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Kill yourself.
Yeah.
Just kill each other off.
Yep, just stay out of my zone.
We'll just be done with you.
Mm-hmm. See, I was saying that to somebody earlier, during the week, I was in one of these fucking Facebook arguments with somebody about the Tamir Rice thing. And immediately, they went right to, they were bitching that LeBron James didn't say something.
Yeah, well, he's going to protect his own ass. He's not going to go out there and screw up his own, his own career for maybe something he doesn't necessarily. Just because he's black doesn't mean he's necessarily down with your issues.
Right. And the one thing I wrote was maybe he watched the video and doesn't fucking disagree with the police. He could. And the immediate reaction was, well, that's what all you racists.
Yeah, of course. It's a racist thing.
All you idiot racists.
Sure.
I was like, yeah, all right. You're right, I'm a racist.
The thing is, here's the thing. That this idea that just because you're of a certain ethnicity, that when a certain group of people of the same ethnicity have an issue, well, you all should be on board.
No, tough shit.
No, it's an individual decision, not because of my race or skin or ethnicity.
Well, I don't owe anybody anything. Not respect, not fucking resolve, not fucking, and I said this in this Facebook post to this guy that was fucking going on about me being a racist. I was like, I don't owe you sympathy. I don't owe Tamir Rice's family sympathy. I don't feel bad that this kid got shot. I don't. Does it suck for his family? Absolutely, it sucks for his family. Definitely does. But you know what? He's out there waving a gun around. Real or fake, he's waving a gun around. And he got shot. And And the whole thing is ridiculous. You know, to me, to somebody that's been in trouble with the cops and had problems with the cops in the past, you know, I've been tuned up. I've been tuned up bad. I've told that story on the air before. You know, they threw me over a hood handcuffed and beat the living fuck out of me with their goddamn nightsticks.
Right.
And you know what? I deserved it. Honestly, I deserved it. If one of those blows would have hit me in the fucking right spot in the temple and killed me, I still deserved it.
Right. Well, see, here's the thing.
Yeah.
We're having this discussion, and I know the problems that potentially could be an issue if I went downtown.
Right.
Depending on where it is. Could be the United Center, could be down on Michigan Avenue. But I see what's going on down there with the protesters and, you know, people, things being a very tense situation these days. Mm-hmm. My choice is to stay away from there.
Yeah. Mine too.
Okay. So if I can make the choice to stay away from potentially problematic areas,
yeah,
so can everybody else.
Absolutely.
But to get involved because it's just like, well, fuck those people. They're not going to keep me from doing what I'm doing. You know what? It's not important for me to do it.
What you get.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, for John to go down there and start, you know, yelling whatever it was. Yeah. Granted, there were obviously police down there and whatnot. And I'm sure that there was a sort of a sense of safety.
Yeah.
You know, but would I personally go down there and mix in with these people and try to talk reason with them?
Not me.
No, not doing it.
No.
Not interested. Don't care enough.
And at the same time, if they're laying in the street trying to block traffic and someone runs them the fuck over, sucks to fucking be you.
Right.
Don't look for me to be fucking upset with you or for you.
Sure.
It's not going to be. I'm going to laugh at you for being dumb. You know, and that's really how it goes is, you know, I say this all the time. Anytime you pick a race and you fucking make decisions based on any sort of a race, a creed, anything, you're always wrong. And it's lazy.
Yeah.
You know, it's lazy. This whole thing now, Black Lives Matter. Because of what? Because of Freddie Gray or fucking Tamir Rice or Trayvon Martin or whatever? No, you got to look at the individuals involved here. You got to say, well, fucking, what's his name? George Zimmerman was a fucking cunt. And when he didn't get what he was deserved, well, maybe somebody has to deal out a little bit of street justice and give him what he deserves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the same in the Freddie Gray case and the same in the fucking, you know, Tamir Rice case. All that being said, you can't just fucking say, okay, well, all cops are bad now, so we got to kill them all. You know, and all white people are bad now, so we got to kill them all. You know, because fuck you. First of all, not all of us are going to lay down and just take it. You know, I've started carrying a lot more than I used to.
Mm-hmm.
And I've started keeping my guns a lot cleaner than I used to because I want to make sure they don't misfire if I ever got to use them.
Sure.
And I'm sure I'm not the only one, you know, that's, you know, I'm not scared, but I'm definitely
prepared,
mindful now.
Sure.
You know, I stay mindful and I stay ready. And, you know, I may very well have to fucking put somebody down at some point because if it's me or them, it's me. It's me going to fucking win. At least I'm going to try to, you know, but people want to take it to some fucking stupid level. And the worst problem that we have right now, we white people, I guess, is how many people are afraid. People are absolutely fucking scared of this nonsense. People are scared. You know, I don't know if you saw that story about the Black Panthers patrolling the streets of whatever city. And people are scared of that.
Sure they are.
But they shouldn't be. As long as they're lawful, whatever. There's a fundamental miscommunication with everybody, or with not everybody, with most people in this country right now. There's a fundamental miscommunication that you're owed a feeling of safety. You're not owed a feeling of safety. You would like to feel safe, but you're not owed that. The world is a dangerous fucking place. And if you just blindly feel that you're safe anywhere you are, then you're stupid. You know what I mean? So you should fucking always prepare yourself to be able to handle your business.
Sure.
And that's where we all fucking fail, it seems like, or most of this country. You know, this whole leftist thing of fucking political correctness. Why does everybody want everybody to be politically correct? Because they want everybody to feel nice and happy and protected and safe. And fuck you. You're not owed that. I don't owe that to you. I don't owe you respect, and I don't owe you politeness, and I don't owe you a fucking feeling of safety. I want you to feel a little bit edgy around me so that you fucking behave around me. You know? And when I deal with other people, I expect that from other people. When you deal with strangers, you yourself, do you not fucking, first time you run into them, no matter what the situation, are you not just a little bit on guard?
Sure you are, because you don't know who you're dealing with.
You do have no idea. But you're not going to be blindsided.
No, of course not.
You know, because you fucking pay attention a little bit. Yeah. That's how the world is supposed to work. Not everybody kissing everybody's fucking nutsack to fucking make them feel good. This whole goddamn thing with Black Lives Matter and cops suck and fucking down with whitey and fucking down with black people and all this shit. It's all a bunch of shit. It all comes down to everybody's afraid of their own fucking shadow anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fucking sickening. It's this fucking left-wing, political correct bullshit.
Right.
Everybody needs to fucking wake the fuck up.
Right. Hey, do you remember, I'm sure you do, you've seen the movie Beverly Hills Cop, right?
I have.
Okay. Do you remember the scene where Billy and Axel and Taggart go into the strip club? Yeah. And they're just hanging out there and whatever, and Axel is being hyper vigilant, and he notices two guys acting suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
That's the scene that scene kind of resonates in my mind.
Sure.
And granted, it's a movie, but still, it's that whole thing. It's like, you know, even though he's lost in the entertainment of what's going on around him, mm-hmm. he's still being very hyper vigilant as to what's happening.
Right. You have to be.
You know, and he's just like, hey, see those guys over there? You know?
Mm-hmm.
You know, just kind of keep an eye on these two.
Yeah. Well, use this as an example. After have you been to a concert since the Paris shootings?
No. Last time I went to the show was went to see Scorpions and Queensryche, and that was the end of September.
Okay. Next show you go to, are you not going to pay a little more attention?
I always pay attention.
I do too.
I always pay attention.
Mm-hmm. I definitely do too. And I'm going to, when I'm at Anthrax on Friday, I'm definitely going to be paying a lot more attention.
I mean, it's not since the terrorist threats and everything. I've always paid attention.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't always. I'm not going to lie and say I did. I mean, I used to run around like a fucking maniac. But...
Yeah, see, it's not me. I've always kept my eye, you know, or as the old saying goes, I'm sure you've heard it in the military, keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah, of course. You got to. You got to be at least able to fucking semi-protect yourself at all times. You know, and I don't know when we stopped being that way. But it's just sad that everybody expects that you don't have to fucking be on guard anymore. And now everybody's so hyper scared of everything, you know, that they want to pack up with their own little cliques. Well, you know, I'll just be part of the Black Lives Matter movement, or I'll be part of the fucking fuck the police movement, or whatever. You know, it's enough of this shit. Fucking worry about yourself. If everybody worried about themselves, there really wouldn't be that many problems.
Right. And if you're out in the public, you got to behave yourself. Stop drawing attention to yourself.
Yeah. Or if you do act up, you know, that's another thing that drives me fucking bananas. All of these guys, even if they shouldn't have been hurt or killed, were acting up.
Yeah.
Michael Brown, Tamir Rice, fucking Freddie Gray. They all were acting up.
Well, it all comes back to what I always say. It's always behavior.
Yeah.